Hey everyone, welcome to Kuneco, Celo's community call. My name is Adriana and I support Celo community, and I'm super excited to be here with all of you. I'm calling in here from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I would love to hear and see who's in our virtual room. So if you want to go ahead and put in the chat, just say hello and where you're coming in from, we can get a sense of everyone who's here. Welcome, Ali. Hey, Marcus. Denver, Utah. Hey, Erin, Daniel. New York City presenting. Texas. Awesome. Mumbai. Great. Costa Rica. How awesome. It's always so fun to see the global nature of our community. Beautiful. Well, welcome everyone. So we're all here because we care about Celo's mission to build a financial system that creates the conditions of prosperity for all. We can go to the next slide. And Kuneco's purpose is a place to foster togetherness around this mission and to celebrate all the great work that we're doing towards that goal. And so we can go to the next slide. So today our agenda, we're going to have some Eng Product Updates, and we're going to share some community announcements from across the ecosystem, as well as celebrate some updates and new projects that have launched. Hopefully we'll have some time for Q&A, but in the meantime, we have this chat feature as well as the questions section. So please feel free to use that throughout the presentation, throughout the talks, and we'll be talking async there as well. So next slide, please. And so I'm super excited to announce for the first time that we are launching a Community Builder Award. And so as you'll see today, we have wonderful builders and projects that are making a great impact across the community. And this is just one way for us to recognize those efforts. And so this is going to go to a builder. We had a Twitter nomination this last week. And so we'll share the winner of that at the end of Kuneco today, and we'll continue to do this award monthly. And so next slide, please. And so with that, we'll get started, and I'd love to welcome Alberto to share some Eng Product Updates. Hey, Alberto, welcome.
Hi, Adriana, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon for some people, good night for some others. Hi, I am Alberto. I lead the product team at C-Labs. Next slide. I wanted to start by talking about the stats that we have at the platform level. Of course, and I thought about putting it over here, but we had an uptime for the last 15 months. We have never had yet an outage, so we have 100% of the time. The first thing that I wanted to highlight is the number of transactions. Just around a month ago, we only had 10 million transactions. And we have grown since 5 million. So today we are over about 15.8, 15.9 million transactions. We're doing around 1.4 per week. And the transaction time, when you look at the block explorer, most of the transactions are done in 3 to 4 seconds. It barely ever is 5 seconds, and sometimes it's 1 second. The average transaction cost is around 1 cent every time there's money sent back and forth. And one thing that we're very proud of is through the carbon offsets that we've been buying, we have 479 days of carbon negative. And around 3 or 4 weeks ago, we increased the number of validators we have to 110 from 100 that we had previously, and which we did a vote on adding those to make sure that we continue to scale at the pace all the developers and all of you are making us grow. Next slide. I also wanted to talk about the reserve and the amount of the money that the Celo Foundation holds. The total reserves is over 500 million, with 53 million of Celo dollar and 30 million of Celo euro, despite being launched fairly recently, which is quite an accomplishment. Next slide. One of the things that we're going to be launching soon is Grandamento, which is a tool to mint large quantities of CUSD and CEuro with very little slippage. This is important for us and also for our partners, so we can actually continue to grow at the pace of the demands, rather than having to do small amounts and a lot of them and pay high slippage. It's set to launch around mid to late September, and it's a multi-sig 7-peer nominated community members. So please look at the proposal, the governance proposal, with details for coming soon. Next slide. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit of a roadmap update. We're going to start publishing a roadmap fairly soon. These are things that are already set on stone coming from C-Labs. Of course, there's lots of things that are coming from outside of C-Labs. But the first thing is Grandamento will be coming in September. Optics and Bridges will also be coming in September. And actually, if you had time to look at Twitter, you should look at some tweets that have been recently done by Rene and see what's going on over there. Later on, probably at the beginning of next year, we'll have a hard fork. And then we also plan to have some identity modules available for everybody. And with that, Adriana, you can take it back.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alberto. Appreciate that. Great. So up next, we have some community announcements, and we're going to start with an update with Celo Camp. So I'd love to invite Alon to the stage. Welcome, Alon.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here alongside so many founders and builders in the ecosystem. My name is Alon Shavit, and I'm the program director and co-founder of Upright. Upright is the company that runs Celo Camp. And in the last 4 years, I've been very active in the blockchain space, helping many international businesses growing their ventures. And in this talk, I want to share with you what Celo Camp is and why you should join. So next slide, please. So Celo Camp is an 8-week virtual acceleration and mentorship program for the Celo ecosystem. You can expect to grow your blockchain venture together with us, to connect with other like-minded people, and to prosper by finding your purpose and increase the impact on the world. Next slide, please. Some of the benefits of joining the Celo Camp Incubator are in the form of funding, mentorship, network of experts, our curriculum that we refined over the last 2 years, specially designed for blockchain ventures, perks, and support from the engineering team at C-Labs. Next slide, please. In terms of prizes, we have 10,000 CUSD first place prize, 5,000 CUSD second place prize, and 5 more Tenet awards of 2,000 CUSD. It's all equity free. We take nothing from the startups, so I think it's a great opportunity. Next slide, please. Each team that participates in the camp also receives a bundle of perks from our great partners that includes AWS credits, HubSpot credits, Twilio credits, Sandwich credits, and also great support from our crypto partners. Next slide, please. Yeah, in terms of timeline, so we are now in the last week of the application phase. So I think it's a great time to grab the link from the chat that I will share shortly and apply to Celo Camp. We have a super friendly onboarding experience that includes an introduction call that will explain everything to you. So don't hesitate to apply. The application deadline is August 24. The camp participants, the 18 teams that are going to actually participate in the camp, will be announced by September 13. The camp runs between September 23rd to November 19th, and the camp concludes with the demo day when we invite the entire community, our investors, our partners, to vote on the winning teams of the camp. And also, it's a great way to get exposure to investment opportunities. I can share that our alumni have raised more than $50 million since 2020, so we are really excited about it. Next slide, please. In terms of the camp roadmap, in the camp itself, we cover all the major milestones of the entrepreneurial journey, including finding product market fit, your UX. We are inviting external UX auditors to help you design your UX, building and integrating to Celo, user acquisition strategies, how to fundraise, really super valuable content in the camp itself. Next slide, please. And also, Adriana set up for us a great series that we call the Prosper series that include mindfulness and meditation classes. You know, we know that being a founder can be very stressful, so it's a great opportunity to relax a little bit and to connect with your fellow campers. So people absolutely love this program. Next slide, please. Yeah, we also have great mentors from organizations like Andreessen Horowitz and NFX and Flory and Galaxy Digital. So I'm sure you'll find the office hours with these mentors really, really valuable for your venture. Next slide, please. So thank you very much. Guys, don't hesitate to apply, to reach out to us. We want to work with you. We want to get to know you. So if you are great builders in the ecosystem, don't hesitate to apply today. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Alon. Celo Camp is such a great program. It's always fun to see the projects that come through. Thank you for sharing.
Adriana.
Awesome. So up next, we're going to share what's coming up for community calls. I want to bring Yaz up to the stage to share. Welcome, Yaz.
Hey, how are you?
Great.
Alrighty, let's talk about community calls. So can we go to the next slide? All right, so right after Kuneco right now, we have the governance call coming up. And we're going to cover a lot of cool things happening in governance. First, we're going to go over the contracts release 5. And contracts release 5 is a major update to the core contracts that govern how Celo protocol behaves. After that, we're going to go over any new updates we have for the governance repo. We transitioned to a new repo right now, and we're going to get some updates from the governance working group. And finally, we're going to talk about the transparency around the approver list and the process around who can be an approver and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of interesting discussion for the upcoming call. The link is also added in the chat. You can join the call on Zoom right after this call and at Kuneco. So yeah, join us. Next slide. All right, and next week we have the all core dev call with Celo. It's going to happen the same time as the governance call today, but next week. So what we're going to cover in it, the core devs are going to go over the e-hard fork specification. If you notice, we don't have a name yet for E, but that's going to come later. But we're going to finalize what would actually go into the e-hard fork specification. Mostly, it's going to be us trying to bridge the gap between us and Ethereum, and including a lot of the hard forks from London and Berlin. And finally, there's 2 new exciting proposals by Victor. One is to enhancement to the mnemonic phrases. And finally, we're going to do an extending Otis, which Otis is our identity system. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening there. So I hope you all join us on the community calls, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Yaz. Appreciate that. Yeah, join us after Kuneco and for the following call. Great. So next, I want to invite Arthur up to share about POAP coming to Celo. Welcome, Arthur.
Hey, thanks, Adriana. So my name is Arthur. I work on the identity team at C Labs, and just want to do a short informal presentation about POAP coming to Celo. Next slide, please. So for those that don't know what's POAP, POAP basically stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol, and in a nutshell, it's essentially a tool that event organizers can use to distribute digital badges. They're called POAPs as well. Behind the scenes, they're basically NFTs with an image, and they're pretty sweet. So next slide, please. So how do they work? The very basic functionality is you can issue a POAP, you can claim a POAP, and you can view a POAP. So I brought up a few examples here so that we can have a few discussions and a bit of context. So for example, on the top left, this is the London hard fork launch party POAP. And basically, it was a live stream that you could watch on eStaker. And when you were watching it, someone shared a digit in the chat, and you could go to POAP and claim it. And with your Ethereum address, you were able to claim this lovely POAP. Basically, it works for all sorts of events and use cases. At the top right, you can see one for visiting the Celo booth at East Denver, for attending community calls, or for joining Ask Me Anythings. And they're really pretty versatile. So these are just a few examples. But yeah, you can issue them on a website. You can claim them with a digit and through other means, and you can view them because they're NFTs and they're related to your address. Next slide, please. So what can you do with them? Essentially, there's unlimited possibilities because they're token on a blockchain. But one of the functionalities that I'm excited about is the sort of voting functionality. So on the right, essentially, it's a website that POAP set up where you can create polls for folks that have a certain POAP. So suppose you're a validator on Celo and you have the validator POAP, you could participate in a poll exclusively for POAP owners. So this can be quite useful for doing more decentralized voting and governance. And the bottom left, let's see if the video works. If you could try and click play, let's see if it works. All right, does it work? Yeah. So it's very fast, but essentially what happens here is this is a canvas that's hosted on POAP.art. And anyone who owns the POAP sort of required to participate in this piece of art was able to color pixels on this digital canvas. And for this one specifically, it was the Ethereum hard fork launch, and you had to have the POAP I mentioned earlier. So this is quite cool. It's just fun little uses for POAPs, but the sky is really the limit. So next slide, please. Yeah, so as I said, POAP is coming to Celo. This is basically being worked on at the moment. So big shout out and thanks to Mariano and Joaquin from C Labs, to the folks at Prosper DAO, Patricio at POAP, and Think and Dev who are working on this. Like I said, basically they're tokens and we're bringing them to Celo natively, which means you'll be able to mint them on Celo and own them with a Celo address. And this is not available yet, but it will be soon. And then once it's available, you can hear all about it on social media. If you want to learn more about them, share your ideas, or just want to get excited, you can ping me on Discord. Yeah, until then, thanks for your time. And thanks, Adriana.
Thank you, Arthur. I'm so excited about this, and especially to bring it to Kuneco eventually. So
yeah,
looking forward to that. Awesome. So next, we're going to pivot to some updates on projects across the ecosystem. And so next slide, we're going to start out with Kresko. And so I want to invite Deepak to the stage to share. Welcome, Deepak.
Hey, Rihanna, thanks. We can go to the next slide. Okay, actually, we can just remove the slides. I'll be sharing my screen in a minute. Let me see if I can remove the slides here. All right. So yeah, hi. My name is Deepak, and I'm currently visiting Berlin. Super excited to actually finally meet everyone in this. Like some of you guys from the Celo community, I met some of you in ECC in Paris, meeting some people here in Berlin, and waiting to meet every one of you. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll have a live Kuneco event where we can get to meet and like hang out. Until then, I guess we'll continue doing it or online like this. So would love to like talk about Kresko for a minute and also show a demo of what we have. So basically, Kresko is a novel DeFi protocol for creating synthetic assets. What that means is that we want to enable anybody from anywhere in the world to be able to trade international stocks, such as Alibaba, Apple, S&P 500, or even like commodities like gold. So Kresko in Esperanto means growth. So our mission is to help people grow their wealth. And again, like we're doing this for people in developing countries where they don't have access. As long as they have access to a Valora wallet, all they need to know is that's it, right? They have a smartphone and a Valora wallet, and they can access the Kresko app, and they don't even need to know that there is a blockchain underneath. So that is our vision of what we want to build and help the community grow through that. So let me give a quick demo. So we are not yet live. So what we will be doing is we'll be, again, depending on the security audits, we'll be launching Q4, and we have other exciting news around our fundraise coming up shortly. But until then, we do have a prototype that we built actually during Celo Camp. If you guys are thinking of building something or you have an idea, you should definitely reach out to Alon or apply for Celo Camp. Let me show you what we built. All right, so this is the app here. So this would be running right now. I'm showing it. Sorry. So this is our website. Actually, if you guys want to check out, please feel free to enter your email address here. It's kresko.fi. I'll add the URL in the chat as well. Right now, if you click on the app, there's nothing. If you want to like beta test our app, feel free to add your details here and we'll reach out. So I'll show you the prototype that we currently have. This is running on a different website right now. It's still a prototype. So you'd click a connect wallet here, and instead of Celo extension wallet, you would see Valora wallet here. And then once you log in, you see all the assets that you currently hold. This interface looks pretty much similar to how a Robinhood interface would look like. It shows your balance, what are the assets you're holding currently, and what are the assets you could trade. Let's say I wanted to trade Tesla. I can either buy, I can sell. So here in this case, let's say I just want to buy maybe $15 worth of Tesla, right? So that is just 0.027 Tesla, which is fine. You can still buy that. And it takes just a second to go once I confirm here. And that's it, right? It's done. If you want, right, like for the users, they don't need to know that there is a blockchain underneath, but just so that you see it, I can show you like, this is running on the Alpha Horus testnet and the transaction just confirmed within a few seconds, right? It hardly used any fees here, like at $0.001, but the users don't need to know that there is a blockchain underneath. So what you can do is that you can just go to your activity here, and then there, boom, like you can see, okay, you just bought $15 worth of Tesla and you got 0.003 Tesla. And then you can also see like, like historically, like what are the purchases you made and things like that. So yeah, that is a quick introduction to what is coming. So keep your eyes out for this. Let me close this thing. Yeah, again, like we are Kresko and our mission is to help you build wealth. And yeah, if you're interested, please sign up on our website. I'll add the link as well here. And yeah, and then also please feel free to participate in the Celo governance so that, and other like Celo projects like Impact Market. So you'll have like some cool things coming up from Celo if you do that. Thank you.
This is great. Thank you so much, Deepak, for sharing. Awesome. So up next, we're going to have an update from Moola Market. And so just give us a second here to get the slides up. And Patrick, you're welcome also to join the stage. Welcome, Patrick. Oh, I think you're muted. Let's see here. Oh, we can't hear you yet. Maybe a different audio. It's static right now.
Let's see.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks. So yeah, thanks for the time. I'm going to run through and give a brief update on Moola Market and some of the things that we've rolled out. Moola Market is optimized for mobile. Having a little bit of issue showing my mobile phone this morning, so I'm just going to do this from desktop. So Moola Market is a borrowing and lending protocol that allows you to unlock liquidity against your assets. And when you come to Moola Market, the first thing that you see is the market tab, which is going to show you an overview of all the markets that we have, including the total amounts deposited, total amounts borrowed, as well as the yield rates, which currently on CUSD earning about 2.5%, and euros, which are yielding over 5%. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you a simple way to, a very conservative way to earn interest on all three of these assets. So the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to click to connect my wallet. I'm going to select the Celo extension wallet. And now I can see that my, whoops, excuse me. I'm going to do that one more time. And now I can see that my wallet is connected right here. And so if I navigate over to the account tab, it's going to show me information about my account overall. And this is one of the things that we've updated, is essentially moved and made it a little bit more intuitive on how the assets are grouped and showing both your wallet balance as well as your activity within Moola Market. So in this case, the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to initiate a deposit. So I'm going to click deposit. I'm going to deposit some dollars since the yield is much higher than what I can get at my bank. I have a confirmation screen. I can see how much the transaction is going to cost. And then I'm going to go ahead and confirm, and it's going to ask me to sign the transaction. The transaction fee estimate is it's overestimated in the wallet. The actual cost is closer to 1/1000th of a penny, and we can verify that in just 1 second. But as soon as this transaction is broadcast, that was the approve, and now we'll go ahead and send this transaction to the network. There we go. So now when I go back to my landing, my account tab here, if I drill down into the CUSD tab, I can see that my deposit amount's 25. That's what I have in my wallet, and this is what I'm currently earning. And I also have about $18 worth of value that I could borrow. If I wanted to see information specific to that transaction that I just did, I can click on it right here in the activity feed, see all the information, open it up in the Explorer if I need to go back and reference something. But since the euro rate is so high, let's actually go ahead and do that again. In this case, let's deposit some euros. So I'm going to deposit 15 euros and confirm the transaction. I will go ahead and sign the transaction using Celo extension wallet. And once these transactions are confirmed, then I'm going to initiate a borrow. But we'll give it just 1 second to be broadcast. There we go, there's the approval. And here is the confirmation transaction, which typically takes between 4 to 5 seconds. If anybody's got a stopwatch and wants to count, there we go, right on time. So now we can see that my net balance has increased up to $42. Also point out that if you hold Moo tokens, you can see that balance here, but they are not used as collateral. So now that I've got some collateral deposited, I'm going to borrow Celo. And this is something else new that we recently rolled out, which is stable borrow rates. And stable borrow rates are intended to stay fixed in the short term. If I want to see what the stable borrow rates are, I can navigate over to the Celo Market tab, and I can see that I can essentially lock in a borrow rate of 3%. If I want to do a variable rate, it is lower, but it does have the probability of changing throughout the course of time that I've taken on this debt. So I'm going to go back to borrow. I'm going to borrow some Celo. In this case, let's borrow about 5 Celo. Now, one thing you'll notice is that down here, my new account status, as I navigate on this slider bar, it's actually updating what my future account state will be. So if I have a particular health factor that I want to keep it above, or a loan to value ratio that I want to stay above, then I can simulate that right here before I actually take this loan. Other helpful information that it's showing me is what the current prices are and what my liquidation price would be if I move forward with this. And if you have questions about what any of these are, like liquidation threshold, for example, you can tap on that and get an explainer. In this case, I'm going to borrow an even 5 Celo. We have a confirmation screen to make sure that everything is correct. And again, I'm going to go ahead and sign this transaction. So now, as soon as this transaction is confirmed, I am borrowing. To go back to our account screen real quick, we can see that I have deposited CUSD and I'm earning about 2.5% on that. I've deposited euros. I'm earning about 5% APY on that. And then you'll notice that here the Celo is showing in red because this is a debt. This is a debt that I'm taking and that I've got to borrow of 3%. But I want to earn interest on this Celo. So the next step that I'm going to do is that I'm going to come over to Ubeswap. And I'm going to take this 5 Celo that I just purchased, and I'm going to purchase Saving Celo, which is a locked version of Celo that earns the staking yield, which is currently about 5.5%. And I'm going to go ahead and confirm this. There we go, and that transaction is submitted. So now I'm in a position where my euros are earning over 5% APY. My dollars are earning about 2.5% APY, and I'm essentially arbitraging the interest rate spread between my cost to borrow, which is 3%, and the yield rate on locked Celo, which is over 5%. So I'm getting about 2% extra Celo. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do. The last thing I'll point out with my time here is my health factor. You want to keep this above 1. If it goes below 1, then you can be liquidated, which essentially means that some of your 50% of your debt can be repaid, and that amount of your collateral plus 5% can be liquidated. So there's a 5% penalty. We do have a Telegram bot that can notify you of your health factor and keep you updated, so that you don't always have to watch it. But the stable borrow, as well as the new account tab, are the main things that we rolled out. We got a lot of exciting things coming, so please join our Discord and provide feedback. And thank you very much for your attention.
Awesome, Patrick. That's a beautiful UI. Thank you very much for sharing this update.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. So next we have an update from Poof.cash. And so I want to invite Brian up to the stage. Welcome, Brian.
Hi, everyone. Cool. Let me just share my screen. All right. Cool. Hope you guys can see my screen. Today, I'm mostly going to go over 2 things. The first of which is what has kind of happened since we last spoke at Kuneco, and kind of what's next for our project.
Brian,
So,
you might put it in present mode just so it's a little bit bigger for us.
oh, right. Good point. Cool.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Thank you.
So the first big thing that we've done since Kuneco is do our V1 launch. And we did this in early July, and we launched anonymity mining, governance, and an airdrop. So basically, we incentivize users to come use our protocol, and we also gave them the power to run it. And since then, we've already processed over $4 million in total volume, and we've also seen 2 community-led proposals. And despite not passing, was still amazing to see that people were active and cared about moving the protocol forward. The second biggest thing that, or the second milestone that I wanted to share is Reward Studio. And this launched around the same time as our V1 launch. And Reward Studio allows users to one-click stake their Celo to earn the validator voting rewards. And today, it takes quite a few steps to lock and then vote for your validators. This UI makes it possible to just do it in a single click. And the other side of things is it also allows validator groups to deploy their own liquid staking tokens. And if you want to check out this UI, you can go to rcelo.studio. And since launch, we've seen over $500,000 in TVL, and we've also onboarded 5 validator groups. Cool. So since then, since we've launched these things, we've started to think more deeply about what mainstream privacy looks like. And the 4 things that we've identified are that there's good stablecoin support, there should be negligible fees, it should work like a regular wallet, and it should require little to no crypto knowledge. And so we optimized for these 4 things. And so I'm really excited to share a demo of how we plan on upgrading our protocol. And I'm gonna have to switch tabs here, but all right. So here in this video is the Poof wallet. So the Poof wallet is an easy to use wallet that makes it possible to request and send crypto without ever revealing your public wallet address. So it helps you keep your balances and transaction history to yourself. Here, let's just go ahead and create a wallet and see how it works. You get a private key that here I'm going to back up, and then I'm going to encrypt it to my browser. And once I've done that, I've actually created the wallet. It's pretty simple. And that wallet address is the public wallet address. And then the private balance is 0 right now. And the private balance is special because it's a balance that nobody can see except for us, because we have the private keys. And this is unique to Poof. Like, it doesn't exist anywhere else. So why don't we try and request for some crypto so we can fund this private balance? Here, I request for 1 CUSD, which now will generate a link that I can share with whoever. I'm just going to open this in an incognito tab and complete the request myself. But normally you can send it to friends and family. So here, I get a request for 1 CUSD, and I'm going to go ahead and complete the request by approving the transaction and then completing the request. And then once that's done, we can actually go and look at what this transaction looks like in the Explorer. And we'll see that my public wallet address deposited 1 CUSD into this 0x53 address. And this 0x53 address is the Poof smart contract. It's not actually my public wallet address. So if we go back here, we see that my private balance has increased by 1. And now that we have private balance, we can now make private sends to whoever we want. So these are sends that protect our privacy. I'm going to send 10 cents to Brian.nom. And for those of you who don't know, Brian.nom is a human-friendly name that you could reserve on app.nom.space. So here we are, the transaction completes. We can see in the Explorer again what the public details are. And we see that this same 0x53 address, which is the Poof smart contract, send just under 10 cents to Brian, which is this 0xa13 address. So here, our public wallet address was never exposed, and it was just a simple request and send that made it possible to keep our privacy safe. And yeah, that's it. And right now, we're still working out the details of the interface, and we need to do a trusted setup for the ZK snarks. But besides that, like, this is all like live functionality that you see. So coming back here now, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, I would highly encourage you to join our community or Twitter Discord on our landing page, Poof.cash. And if you have any questions, you can also reach out to me directly, Brian@Poof.cash. Thank you.
Awesome, Brian. Thanks for coming in and sharing this awesome update with us. And yeah, please ask any questions either in the question section or the chat for Brian. So it's awesome. Thank you. So up next, we're going to have an update from Resource. And so I'd love to invite Ashley up to the stage. Welcome, Ashley.
Hi there. Thanks, Adriana.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, so I think a lot of you know us, but just to reiterate, we're a Resource. It's a protocol for mutual credit networks. Next slide. So our announcement today is that we're now open for the Celo ecosystem to apply. So that means if you're a freelancer in the Celo ecosystem, if you're a project that's building on Celo, like we've heard from today, or other kind of support services for Celo, like security audits, things like this, you can now apply to get a credit line on Resource. So you can go to resourcenetwork.co/apply. That's also where you can go to check out our marketplace and view what other kind of things you can buy with the credit line. And I also put my email there, just ashley@resourcenetwork.co if you have other questions about this. Next slide. So what happens when you apply to get a credit line? So if you have an ambassador that refers you, so the Celo ecosystem is like an ambassador in our model. Eventually, we're going to be integrating financial reports with our partner Teller Finance, and we're also going to be looking at other things that you have, like if you're a freelancer, your reviews on Upwork or things like this, so we can understand better how to give people credit lines on our protocol. Next slide. And so the way that our currency works, you don't need any collateral to be able to access it. You just need your existing reputation in the real world with your project that we're able to review. So that makes us one of the first uncollateralized lending protocols in DeFi, we think. So you pay back this credit line by making sales to other businesses in the network. And this is also a type of stablecoin that's created from organic market activity. So in this example, Rob finds what he needs from Alice. Let's say she has a co-working space. So he sends her the 800 resource dollars, and that's when they're minted. And now Rob has a negative balance, a negative token balance, and Alice has a positive token balance. Next slide. And so Rob has what Alice, or Rob wants what Alice has, but Alice doesn't need to want what Rob has. She can spend her resource dollars with any of the other companies in the ecosystem. Next slide. So we're not only open for people who want to get a credit line, like if they're a project or a freelancer. Also, we are starting to create partnerships for people who want to participate as underwriters. And basically, those are people who have knowledge or they want to underwrite other businesses in the ecosystem. And then another thing that we thought would be interesting are ambassadors. So people who have networks of businesses that they want to bring on board and then earn a stake in our network and the mutuality token for doing so. Next slide. So the way the underwriting works is we're pioneering this with the blockchain ecosystem right now. We can see this evolving later on to include lots of other types of players. But basically, you're staking our utility token mutuality for partial collateral of the credit line, about 20%. In exchange, you earn the transaction fees from the businesses that you underwrite every time that you're transacting on the platform. So we're exploring a few really interesting underwriting partnerships that we'll be excited to announce coming soon. But of course, if you're interested in this, next slide. We'd love for people who are already participating as Celo validators to start to collaborate with us, and we want to make like a Celo underwriting pool based on people who are already doing this work as a Celo validator. We have some other interesting ideas of how Celo validators can also participate within our protocol in terms of how we're architecting our multi-sig, but that will be coming soon. So yeah, that's my email if you want to reach out, and thanks for having me today.
That's great. Thank you, Ashley. Love Resource and all the work that you guys are doing. So thanks for joining us today and sharing this. Awesome. So next we have an update from Ubeswap. So I'm going to ask Ian to come and join the stage and we'll take it away from there. Hey, Ian, welcome.
Hey, thanks. Can you hear me?
I can.
Great. Well, I don't have any slides, but I can just talk. But basically, the goal of Ubeswap is to make Celo grow by supporting assets based on Celo. And currently, I'm stretched really thin with Sabre taking off. But Celo has hit a critical point right now where there's a lot of new projects with tokens, and we want to make sure they're getting everything they need. So we want to make sure they get liquidity on Celo, so they get encouraged to keep building on Celo and get excited about what they're building. So the first update I have is that I think I said this in Discord, but I've handed off basically all of the product operations to Brian from Poof. So Brian actually built our DAO platform, which he also built for Poof. And he also helped to launch dual yield farming rewards, which has brought a lot of attention to both Poof and Moola. He also was part of the initial engineering team at Ubeswap, so I think he'd be a really good fit for that role. The other thing is there's a lot of non-engineering work to be done as well. It's kind of tough to do both engineering and working with the community, especially if you're working on, I guess, multiple projects. So basically, I want to bring another person on to help Brian out with the like basically talking to a lot of these people, getting interested in Celo and making sure that they have like a plan of how they're going to basically launch whatever they're launching. So I'm currently looking for that person, and I'm also looking for an engineer, potentially part-time, to just help out with these like support, like making sure like any new wallets or any new types of apps are being supported properly within the Ubeswap interface and protocol. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks for all of your support so far with Ubeswap, and yeah, I hope to make sure that the Celo community continues to grow and get the support it needs.
Thank you, Ian. Appreciate the updates, and I just hear all the work that you're doing across the board. So just thank you for that, and we all really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so please reach out to Ian. Let's grow the team. Let's get some more support here. Connectedness is one of our values. So yeah, great. So up next, we have an update from Paysail. So I want to invite Liam up to the stage to share.
Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be here and to share a bit about what we're building at Paysail. Next slide, please. So I'm Liam. I'm the co-founder of Paysail, and we are building instant global invoicing on Celo. Next slide, please. So fundamentally, business-to-business invoicing and payments are fragmented, inefficient, slow, and super expensive. The stat that we like to throw out is that the wire transfer was first used in 1872, which is 7 years after the Civil War, and hasn't changed that much since then. Well, and with these high fees and expenses for invoicing, established businesses, it's an inconvenience for them. But for many merchants, especially merchants in emerging economies, these fees are really prohibitive. Next slide, please. And that's why we're building Paysail. So Paysail enables instant global business-to-business invoicing and invoice payments. Not only do we offer a robust invoice management platform, but also the underlying payment infrastructure as well. So on Paysail, you're able to invoice both Paysail and non-Paysail users globally with ease. We want it to feel like an enterprise solution. So we abstract away the need to enter in your customers or whoever your contractors are with their private keys. All you need is their email, and we handle all that on the back end. Additionally, you're able to transact in stable coins anchored to the value of local fiats, which is a huge value add of something like CUSD, especially when you're paying an invoice a month later. Similar to a lot of other projects built on Celo, you're able to receive payments nearly instantly for a super low fee. But this is a fundamental 0 to 1 shift for a lot of traditional invoicing solutions. And then also on Paysail, you're able to benefit from invoice tracking and dynamic invoice data. Next slide, please. And the two big use cases that we're seeing right now, we just launched last week, so we're still very early. But we're looking at merchants in emerging economies that are already accepting Celo at the storefront, looking to automate their business solutions, but also businesses who are looking to leverage high efficiency payments as well in invoicing. So this could be businesses that are accepting Celo on the front end and then don't just want to off-ramp that back to whatever the local fiat is and transact and pay their invoices in whatever that currency is. But they want to continue to use Celo and leverage that high efficiency use case. And then also US enterprises that are paying international contractors or workers. We see this as another huge use case. And we have seen this as kind of one of the early use cases within the Celo ecosystem as well. So both types of these customers are already often transacting in cryptocurrencies and using mobile wallets, but they have really manual tracking solutions and don't have a platform that enables them to track their payments and easily invoice their contractors and payments. So we just launched this past week and are really excited to continue to grow within the Celo ecosystem and work with merchants in the Celo ecosystem, but also continue to build out the Paysail platform. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Liam. And please go ahead and ask any questions in the chat. And with that, I would love to invite Jackie to share about Valora. Welcome, Jackie.
Hi, thanks. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Alrighty. Hi, everyone. I'm Jackie. For those of you that don't know me, I've been in the Celo community for about 1.5 years, and I'm the CEO of Valora. And I'm here today to talk a little bit more about what we're up to and some of our updates. So I'm sure most of you already know about Valora, but here it is. We're a mobile wallet that utilizes all the magic of Celo. And really what our goal is to make crypto accessible and useful to anyone with a mobile phone. Next slide, please. So our big update is that Valora actually recently spun out of C Labs and is now an independent company. So this photo here is actually the team on our first official day as Valora Inc. We're now a team of 30. The majority of us actually spun out from C Labs, as many of you know, and we've added some amazing team members, such as Silas, our CTO, as well as Julie Joe, our GC, and then Merrick will also be coming on as president of the company. In the process of spinning out, we also raised our Series A funding and are focused on expanding our offering to our users and continuing to build an easy-to-use app that will be the gateway for DeFi on Celo. And so I will focus more on that in the upcoming slides. And so today we're focused on giving Valora users just a great user experience. And so some of the things that we're focused on right now are improving that onboarding experience. And this includes easy and low-cost ways to cash into Valora. And so the team's been working really hard to build a native cash-in experience with Inclusive, and obviously partnering with providers like Ramp to integrate with Valora. We also wanted to shout out the foundation because they're making the experience easier with fee waivers, and zero-cost cash-in is a huge benefit to users, especially as they on-ramp and try Valora for the first time. We've also launched C-Euro support and really to unlock the European market. And lastly, we're expanding our SAVE program so people can see the immediate benefit by using Valora just from saving in their stable balance. So what's coming up next? So multi-asset support. So, today, Valora can sign, any transaction on the Celo platform, but it's not really obvious to see what dApp you're connecting to. And so it's great to see, a lot of the projects that were just presented, connect to Valora. But what we want to do is actually make it more transparent for users to see, what assets they're holding in their wallet and what you're connecting to. And so this will really enable many of the great dApps that are built on Celo to easily integrate and to enable better discovery of those dApps for our users. Additionally, we really want to focus and provide educational content to empower users with crypto knowledge. I think this is a huge opportunity that we have, not only as Valora, but also as a Celo ecosystem. If we're really focused on making, the solutions that we build very easy to use and accessible to anyone with a mobile phone, with that, we need to tell people like how and why this is important. And also empower them with the knowledge. And so that's a huge opportunity and a big focus for our team is how do we do that, not only within Valora, but also, providing resources as we go. And then lastly, we're really focused on making, Celo dollars and Valora useful and provide that utility, right, with great cash in and cash out experiences. And so, partnering with companies like Ponto, and other companies that are in the audience today, really looking forward to eventually partnering with all of you to really be that gateway and that front door and that hub to many of the great solutions that are being built here. And so if you have any questions or want to connect, I want to get to know you, the team does too, so you could reach me at Jackie@ValoraApp.com, and we look forward to working with you on making this easy to use.
Fantastic. Thanks for the update, Jackie. Thanks for joining today. So up next, I would love to welcome Jamin to the stage to share about magic. Welcome, Jamin.
You guys hear me?
Yes, sounds great.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Jamin. I'm a co-founder and chief blockchain officer at Magic. Can you move on to the next slide? So I'd like to start with the question, what's the most challenging problem preventing widespread adoption of Web3 today? So we believe that one of the most challenging problems today is end user experience. By end user experience, we're talking about sign up and login process, wallet creation, and managing private key. And all of these are something that's quite hard for mainstream users right now in Web3. And at Magic right now, we're here to streamline all three. So what is Magic? Magic is a simple plug-and-play auth and key management solution. We have a developer SDK that you can integrate into your dApp to enable seamless login UX and various authentication options for your end users. About the options, we offer email passwordless authentication by email using Magic links, similar to the authentication flow provided by Slack and Medium. We also offer social logins like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, Discord, and many more. And also web authent like biometrics. And the last one, which is coming soon, which we're really excited about, is passwordless SMS login. So these auth options are important when looking to onboard mainstream users to Web3, because these are the options that mainstream users are like already familiar with. And what is truly magical is that end users can sign up with these familiar authentication options, and upon successful sign up, they will be assigned with a wallet like public-private key pair in the background, which is securely managed by our non-custodial delegated key management architecture. And for more info on the architecture, you can check it out on our Magic security page. Next slide. Yeah, so let me do a quick demo. Share screen. All right, so one of our customers is nifties.com. They're like an NFT launch platform and NFT marketplace. They have onboarded around 300,000 users so far, and most of them are mainstream. So they have like Damien Hirst, and they recently launched an NFT with Space Jam, and they use Magic for onboarding. So let me show you a quick demo. So you click that, and then there's an input for email, and then there's also a Twitter social login. Both are powered by us. So I'll go with the email. And then, oh, I guess I logged in before and their session's active. But yeah, pretty much it sends you like a Magic link, which you can click. And once you click that, it redirects you to the main website, and then you're just logged in. And behind the scenes, you already have a wallet. So once you go through free on-ramp, which is pretty much just onboarding with like USD, right? And you're able to just buy NFT right away by just clicking a few buttons. And yeah, next slide, please. So how to get started, you can check out our homepage, magic.link. If you want to dive straight into the docs, there's a link there. And then we also have a guide which goes into more details on how to integrate Celo with more steps. And then on the architecture, on how we do the key management part, you can check out our security white paper. And if you have any questions or have any ideas you'd like to discuss with me, feel free to email me at jamin@magiclink. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jamin, for the update today. And so for our final project, I would love to invite Robert up to the stage to share about Mobius. So welcome to the stage, Robert, when you get a second. Awesome. Hi.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? So today I'd love to kind of introduce to you guys something that Dahlia and the kick-ass Open Celo team has been working on for the past month and a half. So today we're going to be introducing the first ever cross-chain DEX on Celo, one that after numerous simulations has been optimized to handle sort of these similarly priced assets like stablecoins and interest-bearing tokens. Kind of sort of going on with Mobius, one of the major motivations we had was as Celo kind of continues to expand its assortment of stablecoins, there kind of needs to be a really fantastic and capital efficient way to trade between different stablecoin assets, ones that are pegged between different national currencies. So if you can imagine, like a merchant, as you will, that is effectively taking money in Brazil reals and wants to exchange 100 Brazilian reals into CUSD. Now they can do that for a couple cents versus a couple dollars. And so that's sort of what we're looking to do with Mobius. As for future updates and a launch timeline, we're actually launching within probably the next 4 days. We actually have a countdown with our live website. And we also have a bridge that will be launching pretty soon. Yeah. So that's it for you guys.
That's great. Thanks for sharing this update with us today and joining. Thanks. So if you want to reach out to Robert, have any questions, please go ahead in the chat. And that is a wrap for project updates for today. And so we are just about at time. So instead of taking Q&A, please go ahead and reach out to folks directly or in the chat. But we are going to complete with announcing the community award winner. So again, we called for nominations on Twitter to ask who do you think should be recognized for great builder work. And I would love to announce that now. So if we can go to the next slide. The award goes to Brian Lee. And so Brian, you also presented today. Brian's a part of Romulus, Poof.cash, as well as Ubeswap, and by a landslide, the whole community, all of you came out to just congratulate him and thank him for his work. So congratulations to you for being the first to get a Community Builder Award of 1,000 Celo. We'll reach out to you directly for that. And stay tuned next month to nominate other folks in the community for this award. So right after this, we have the governance call. So please go to that and participate, and let's keep the party going. And if you have an update to share at the next Kuneco, please let us know in the Kuneco channel on Discord, where we collate all the updates and suggestions. And join us on Discord if you're not there already. So next slide with chat.celo.org, and we'll see you next time. This call is recorded and we'll post on YouTube later today, and will be available publicly on the Celo.org YouTube channel. So thanks everyone for being a part of Celo, and have a beautiful and prosperous day.